What's good? What's good? I'm gonna get into this month's horoscope. Um, yeah. Oh, I'm Chelsea, if you don't know. Yeah, so anyway, we have Mars trine Pluto in Taurus and Capricorn in 19 degrees. So if you are a Virgo, specifically a 19th degree Virgo, you're gonna feel this very strongly. And it's a great aspect. It's Mars trine Pluto. So you're going to feel, excuse me, okay. You're going to feel an unprecedented amount of energy and drive. It's going to come out of nowhere. Mars is a soldier who fights to the death. What is it? Capricorn. No, sorry. Pluto is the planet that controls our subconscious. It's those drives that control us. So these two planets have the most energy of all the planets, and they're all in fire houses for you, which are very easy to act in, even if you're not a fire sign or like a masculine sign. These are still very easy energies to deal with because it's just, I don't know how to, for example, the water signs, water houses include the eighth house, which is, occult and deep transformation that turns your life around, sudden events, sudden death, rebirth, and then there's a fourth house of home and resources, and it does seem kind of cozy, but it's also like nothing's going on. It's the house at the very bottom. It's the least seen. So if you know the circular chart, it's at the bottom. So 10th house is the top. It's the highest up. So people see you there. Nobody sees you down here. 12th house is confusion. You know what I'm saying? But fire houses are usually much easier. Fifth house, passion, love. Things you like to do. If you have a child, children. Ninth house, travel, all the exotic things, and higher education and all these things. And first house, who you are, just be you. That's all you gotta do. So yeah, all that to say is this trine is gonna be very easy for you. It's going to affect your fifth house, I believe, because Capricorn is your fifth house, yeah, and then your ninth house. So definitely, if you want to make study abroad or just traveling plans happen, now's the time to really push for them, to really fight for them. I think something that I didn't make clear in other videos is that it's not that you won't have to fight, it's just that you'll have so much more energy to fight, and your fighting will be successful. Yeah, it's not that you want to fight. You may not even, you specifically, because it's not really triggering your sixth house or anything, you may not even deal with a lot of enemies right now, or a lot of obstacles, but you may still have to fight and put in that extra effort. But it won't be hard to muster up that effort because these planets have so much extra energy and they're just flowing it onto you. And it won't be hard to just get it done. Right. So that's April 6th and 7th. Yeah. I don't think there's... well, Pluto has to do with deep down. So you might want to make sure that the things that you're fighting for, you really can defend and they're really true to you. Again, like I said, it's an easygoing aspect. I don't expect any harsh wake-up calls, but you'll be fighting for things that are very true to your sense of self, things you strongly identify with and resonate with, because that's Pluto. Yeah. Okay, now we have Venus square Saturn square Moon. Again, something that you'll be strongly affected by because it's in the mutable signs, so you complete the square. In fact, I think the moon in this one, the moon will be conjunct you during this trine. The moon will be in Virgo, and Venus will be in Pisces in 27 degrees. Saturn will be in Sag in 27 degrees. So these are your 7th house for Pisces, and then for Sag, that's your 4th house. Sorry, I'm sick. The moon is the 1st house. So you will be tested, of course, tested on maybe family values and how you can relate those to other people. Your family might be a little bit harsh about the friends you keep, but they may be a bit more critical about the friends you keep, or your friends may not reflect and or be detrimental to your family life, and also your like, for some reason I want to say your inner coziness, like just your comfort zones. Like if you can think of places where you're most comfortable, for me, right? Because I feel like the 4th house represents the home, it represents the shell, it represents places where you're most comfortable, places where like, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a house. So for example, I am most comfortable here in my dorm. I go to Howard. I'm most comfortable, that's a university if you don't know. I'm most comfortable here in my dorm, which is like my home right now. When I go home, I live in Texas. When I go home, I have a rather big house, but there's only 2 places that I really feel comfortable. My actual room and then like the living room. I like to like, you know, there's a specific couch there that I like to hang out in. You know what I mean? So like those specific places where you find a lot of comfort. Even next to the garage, there's this place that has like a lot of residents, and I like to sing. So like I really love that place. You know, I can sit there for hours and sing. So like finding like the little places and spaces where you feel the most comfortable, where you feel the most at home. It can even be like, again, forgive me, I'm just speaking from my own experience. Maybe there's a specific teacher who, you know, makes you feel at home. So anytime you go to their office, you just like let loose and feel so comfortable, right? That could be indicative of 4th house energy. So if you have friends or relationships that kind of just don't respect that, keep an eye out, because again, like Venus is still retrograde. We're still learning things, we're still assessing. So we might realize, since the moon is materializing things, and it's going to materialize in your 1st house, so like you'll definitely see it like in your face. Be careful of people who don't respect those types of things, or who don't respect your property and your self-worth, or who try to demean what you feel is comfortable. For example, I'm a Cancer and I go into my shell very often because it's nice there. So like if somebody demeans that, then they're not a true friend. They don't respect my comfort zone. I don't need to be around them, period. So anyway, that's that. The square will come back because Venus is going to go retrograde, it's going to square, and then it's going to go forward, it's going to square. So I'll talk about it in like 10 minutes. Third thing that's going on this month, Mercury is going retrograde. So in 4 degrees Taurus on April 11th. So again, something else that's very specific to Virgo, Mercury is your planet. I don't see this as life-changing. You noticing? Obviously it's not. But just careful with the communication. Again, it's in Taurus, which is an easier sign for you. But Taurus reflects your 9th house matters. So like, you know, this is a time where like passport typos are very likely. You know what I mean? Like just, you know, making a mistake on your flight details, any sort of traveling can get messed up, or you just may have to pay closer attention to details on those topics. Also, when you're communicating your ideas, your philosophies to other people, it could be misconstrued, or you just have to pay closer attention. If you have a lot of tests coming up, you have to pay closer attention to that. If you're graduating, you may have to pay closer attention to those things. Ooh, excuse me. I'm sick, guys. I'm sorry. Like, ew. Anyway, I'm sorry, Virgo. Like, I just can't even do better. I can't do better right now. Anyway, yeah, so like higher education, your philosophies, your belief systems, even if you're religious, just communicating your beliefs to others. Let's say you like to get into debates, you're probably going to lose a couple during this time, or just pay closer attention to detail. You know what I mean? You don't have to lose. You could just go the extra mile like you're called to do during this time. Okay, so that's Mercury retrograde on April 11th at 4 degrees Taurus. Then we have Venus going direct, whoop, whoop, in 26 degrees Pisces on April 16th. So that's in your 7th house of relationships. You may feel newfound energy in relationships. You may feel like you've gathered all your assessments and now you can start to make conclusions. And your first lines of actions in terms of how you distribute your wealth, who is worthy to you, friendships worth keeping, friendships worth dishing, and also aesthetics, how you look, and also how your friends look. Like, you know, maybe you want to take a leaf from their fashion style, or maybe you don't want to take a leaf. Yeah, but it's going direct, so you might start to have a lot more action in those things, and then it's going to go into your 8th house much later on down the line, or maybe not that much later. Let's see, Venus, yeah, like the last 2 days of April, it's going to go into Aries. So that's not important though. It's just going direct though, so you can feel the shift in energy. I'm sure we've all been waiting for it. I'm not here for these Venus retrogrades. Whew. Anyway, Mercury conjunct Sun in 0 degrees Taurus, April 20th. So I was saying in the other video, Mercury is like a code. So Mercury is communication, right? So it could be like a scroll written in your native language, right? Of all the information you need. When it's retrograde, it's now in code. It's now in like Morse code, or like, you know, some cryptic Pig Latin, which, you know, it sounds like you can't understand. It's just that you have to take extra time to understand. Or have you guys ever seen this thing where like they put the first and last letter of a word correctly, but then all the other letters are scrambled, but then you can still understand what they're saying? That's like Mercury retrograde. You just have to take care and pay attention to details. Plus it's in 0 degrees Taurus, which again, like, I mean, all of these things are kind of, I don't want to say it's an easygoing month for you, but like all these aspects are very nice for Virgo. Or not very nice, but like they all really affect the Virgo very specifically. Because Taurus is, of course you'll feel it more or less depending on the degree, but like Taurus is your 9th house. Yep. So Taurus is your 9th house, and Mercury will be conjunct the Sun. Sun will illuminate things. So whereas before you may have been trying to read this, you know, code in the dark or by like candlelight, the Sun will just will flip the switch, and then the lights will come on. You don't have to depend on candlelight anymore for that, you know, moment in time. Things will just be a little bit more clear, especially in regards to just, you know, like in regards to like things that you're called to do, your purpose, and like the meaning behind your purpose. Sometimes people know their purpose, but they can't always articulate the meaning behind their purpose. It can be illuminated for you during this time. The meaning behind your purpose, the philosophy behind your purpose. What is your purpose? May be to be a doctor, you know, or whatever, but why? And then the philosophy is to heal the world. I have been given healing hands, therefore it is my duty to pass it on to other people. That's how ninth house energy can illuminate your solar situation. Okay, that's on April 20th. Then we have Venus square Saturn in 27 degrees in Pisces and Sag. So again, something that Virgo is a part of. So you want to look at whatever square happened the last time and just kind of rehash it, and just kind of figure out, hold on, Sag is your 4th house, right? So yeah, things that came up last time, rehash it, see what action you feel like taking now, especially since Venus is direct and it's more favorable to take action now in terms of relationships, cutting relationships off, working on certain relationships, taking steps to strengthen relationships, which Saturn will make hard for you right now, but it still has to be done. So yeah, that's on April 21st through 23rd. Then we have Mercury conjunct Uranus in 25 degrees Aries from April 28th to 29th. Mercury is still retrograde, so like things are still in code, things are just not very clear, communication from the outside. And this is in Aries, which is your 8th house. So if you do dabble in occult or like alternative religions, alternative spiritualities, you may not be getting clear signs. In fact, the signs may be confusing, but around this, because Mercury is in retrograde, but around this time you may be getting sign after sign after sign after sign after sign. You know what I mean? Like, you may be bombarded with messages that you can no longer ignore. And it may come to you like lightning. You know what I mean? Like, in like those 2 days alone, you may receive like 5 to 10 signs for the same thing. And it's like, even though you may not completely understand what's going on, you can't ignore it. And since it is Mercury and that's your planet, you may end up figuring out what the universe is trying to tell you because you know how Mercury works. And it's your sign, it's your baby, it's your planet. You know what I mean? So it's like when it goes retrograde, you're so used to it. You feel it every time. So yeah, like basically look out for signs that have to do either from the occult. So if you're into numerology, you might want to get into that. I think Moonstone is a great stone for you right now, as well as Malachite. Moonstone and Malachite would be really nice for guidance right now, especially on that day, to channel just good energies, good vibes. You don't want to get like electrocuted by Uranus's energy. It's a conjunction, so there's a lot of good, a lot of bad. Aries is really harsh, so you might get a little burnt, but I don't necessarily see bad things. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. I don't know. Yeah. 8th house. Oh, other people's money. Yeah, I see it more so with the cult. Or maybe you may get a downfall of other person's money. Like, I don't know. Anyway. April 26th, Pluto is retrograde in 19 degrees Capricorn. Again, not a huge situation, but for you, it's some assessment that is definitely going to be long term. Pluto is a very slow moving planet. It cuts to the core, it cuts to the heart. So these are very long term, very deep transformations. And for you, it's in Capricorn, and so that is your 5th house. 5th house of passion. You know, if you have any issues with a child, I don't necessarily see this as childhood issues. It's a little different. But it could be situations with your inner child. There's a bit of a difference. With your inner child, it's more so, you know, how you're trying to cope with things right now. If you have a child, you may want to look into your relationship with that child. How is that child progressing? You know, is there any psychological trauma that the child may be dealing with that you need to assess and address? I don't see this as childhood trauma, your personal childhood trauma, because even though Pluto, that is what Pluto is about, personal childhood trauma, that's not what the fifth house is about. So it's like the things that you uncover may be related to personal childhood trauma, yes, but it's not specifically personal childhood trauma because it's your fifth house. But anyway, it could have to do with passions. It could have to do with like, things you're passionate about, things you're excited about, lovers, and you know why you do certain things related to those things. Why are you passionate about a certain thing? Why are you attracted to certain people? Why do you treat your inner child the way you do? Those are things you gotta address. So that's that. And then now we have moon trines. Like I said before, Jupiter is the planet of all good things, opportunity, wealth, good things, expansion. And the moon materializes things. So I'm going to be highlighting moon trines for the month. First one is April 2nd. The moon will be in Gemini, which is your 10th house of career. And then the second one is April 21st, which is in Aquarius, which is your 6th house of work ethic. And Libra, which is Jupiter is in Libra, which is your 2nd house. So you may find opportunities to increase your wealth through your career or through the daily activities that you do, and even keeping your own health in optimal condition. Yeah, that's what I have for you guys. See you next month. Bye.